magiliw, pelas ang sinanganan, alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisiin. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw, may nilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdiningning, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng walhati pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang hinigaya na pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo. Take your seat. So again, good afternoon to all. My name is Chris Castillo. I'm from the Campus Life section of the Office of the Associate Dean for Student Affairs, and also a member of the AUN EEC Secretariat. And we'd like to welcome you to the Reconciling with Nature through Artistic Creations, an AUN EEC workshop for 2023. To officially welcome us to this afternoon's event, we'd like to welcome also the Executive Director of the IRT, Dr. Michael.
Dr. Emanuel Delpan, Executive Director of ASEAN University Network of Education and Culture, colleagues from the ASEAN University Network, colleagues from the Ateneo Institute of Sustainability, Ateneo de Manila University, fellow faculty members, students, and guests. It is a common assumption that creativity is within the domain of the humanities. It is often associated with the arts. You can hear from my colleagues in the science disclaimer that they are not creative because they are scientists, not artists. Or else, from the more artistically inclined, that dealing with the discipline of scientific process brings them no joy. Research about human and creativity though evidences that similar processes are involved, whether one is producing a work of art or else studying natural phenomena. Whether the project involves composing poetry or designing an experiment, both endeavors require the processing of information, reflection, insight, along with other capacities such as courage and perseverance. One might even refer to experimentation when trying out novel techniques in art production, or else use elaborate illustrations in mapping out data. When viewed from this perspective, sciences and the arts are not very different at all. It therefore should not be too difficult to bridge. This workshop is an example of the tremendous potential when the communicative capacity of the arts is deliberately channeled to create understanding, provide avenues for participation in wicked problems, and developing solutions that promote integral ecology. It is my hope that today's takeaways will include, apart from a heightened awareness, sustainability is our shared concern, an appreciation that solutions may also be open, uncertain, playful, and opportunities emerge when we have goals. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this hybrid workshop, Reconciling Nature through Artistic Creations. May your workshop be an enjoyable and empowering.
Thank you very much, Michael. So again, welcome to you. Welcome to everyone. We have 50 online participants right now, and for our online participants, there are about 30 or so on-site participants with us here. And again, we're very thankful for your presence. The ASEAN University Network on Ecological Education and Culture, or AUN-EEC, is a thematic network of the AUN whose mission is to help develop a generation of Southeast Asians who will have the mindset and competencies to serve and preserve the environment, even as they face the challenges of social change and economic growth.
AUNEC is housed at the Ateneo Institute of Sustainability, or AIS, which is celebrating its 10th year anniversary this year. Coming from last year's activities, an emerging concern among the network members is how to proceed with enriching awareness and promoting education on environmental and ecological issues in a post-pandemic scenario. With this in mind, the Secretariat had decided on the banner of Environment, Restoration, and Reconciliation as the theme for this year. The banner focuses on furthering reconciliation with the environment as the means through which ecological and cultural education can be advanced. AUNEEC developed a framework to introduce environmental restoration and reconciliation, moving from problems, broad stroke solutions, and personal embodiment. Let me repeat that, 3 things. Moving from problems, broad stroke solutions, and personal embodiment. Focusing on the problems, as the first event under the banner Environmental Restoration and Reconciliation, AUNEEC hosted a webinar entitled From Rivers to Streams, a situationer on ASEAN ecosystems and environmental communication, which was held last April. The talk depicted the bleak and challenging state of the environment and biodiversity in Southeast Asia, as well as impediments, the trends and approaches on how the region relays the state of our ecosystems to the general public. The webinar created the impression that our ecosystems are in a precarious state, especially as an outcome of human activities. Though there is a strong sentiment that humans are in the position to mainstream environmental awareness and ecological communication. Coming from the elucidation of the problems we are facing, the conference aimed to explore the question how we should approach these issues. What broad stroke solutions and thinking are needed? The conference held last August had the theme Communing and Reconciling with Nature, which alluded to the call for ecosystem restoration and reconciliation, which might have taken the back seat during the peak of the pandemic. We developed a loaded plenary morning, which included two keynote lectures, one on viewing the environment using the lenses of reconciliation ecology, and the other on furthering education on ecological restoration. After understanding the framework, we saw how it is operationalized on the ground in our panel discussion. We invited 3 panelists who shared their lived experiences and lessons from the field of reconciliation ecology. In the afternoon session, we had our 4 panel sessions covering an array of topics. AUNEC is happy to report that we have received a record high submission of abstracts for panel sessions this year. Which brings us to our workshop today. After learning the broad stroke framework, which is reconciliation ecology, we move to the personal embodiment of reconciliation ecology. To recall, in his seminal paper on reconciliation ecology, Rosenweig said, rather than insist on protecting habitat from human use, reconciliation ecology works in and with human-dominated habitats that cover most of the terrestrial surface of the Earth. Reconciliation ecology gives us the realistic hope that we can prevent most losses of species. Thus, in this workshop, our participants will explore how they can creatively express their personal embodiment of reconciliation ecology, given their own unique contexts and narratives. We have invited facilitators, highly skilled in outdoor photography and literary writing, and we shall introduce them shortly. Moreover, this workshop is a culminating activity under the AUN 2023 banner theme, Environmental Reconciliation and Restoration. Since we believe that sustainability is not a competition, but a cooperation. AUNEC is thrilled to partner with Ateneo Arete through its Sandbox Residency Program for this workshop. We would also like to invite our participants to the Sandbox Residence exhibit happening at the Doreen Fernandez Black Box Theater. So that's across this room on the second floor. AUNEEC is one of the Sandbox residents of Arete and is showcasing their Baliktarin Mo project at the law. You may also visit the exhibit of Baliktarin Mo and other residents for free until Thursday.
Sa Turing Black Box na po yun.
The Baliktarin Mo is now,
Yes, all the
everything is at the Doreen Black Box. All right, thank you very much. But it is still available for free until
Yes.
Thursday.
yes.
Right, so we have to,
free.
the free part is the important one, I guess.
Meron pa cookies.
Not only is entrance free, there are also free cookies and what?
Coffee.
And coffee.
Bring your friend.
Why are we here? Why are we here? Oh, later, there's also free food here. So you went to the right workshop. So we now proceed to our workshop proper, and that's, I'm sure, what you're all looking forward to. And as mentioned, we have invited esteemed facilitators for our workshop this afternoon. So allow me to introduce the facilitators of our 4 concurrent workshops. We have 2 hybrid literary writing sessions, 1 fully on-site outdoor photography session, and 1 fully online outdoor photography session. So there's something for everyone, whether you're on-site right now, one of the 52, or one of the 35 more or less here in this room. So to start with, the first one, our first session is an outdoor photography workshop, which is of course fully on-site, and our facilitator is no less than Mr. Aaron Vicencio, our gentleman right here. Let's give him a warm round of applause. Allow me to tell you a bit more about Aaron. So Aaron is the current executive director of the Eugenio Lopez Jr. Center for Multimedia Communication, or LJCMC, of the Ateneo de Manila University. Alongside this, he is a faculty member of the Department of Communication and the Department of Interdisciplinary Studies, where he teaches various courses on visual communication, creativity, innovation, and of course, photojournalism. He also teaches a course on geohumanities with a particular interest in home and spaces of care. He produced the official online educational learning resource of the university and has also guided a diploma in visual journalism program with the intent of telling stories on the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Aaron is also the lead photographer of the university, so you wouldn't be surprised if you see him in practically all the events. No?
Kung may kasalanan.
Yun.
Ng photos na.
Lahat ng magandang photo, siya may kasalanan. Yung pangit, hindi siya yung may kasalanan. But outside of the university, he has worked on different projects and campaigns with various advertising agencies, newspapers, television channels. And these include, of course, ABS-CBN Digital, PLDT, Adidas Philippines, Gatorade, Summit Media, and the Department of Tourism, to mention a few. He has also been a contributing photographer for the USAID, environmental non-government organizations, and various corporate social responsibility programs. Aaron had his Bachelor of Arts in Psychology and a diploma in photojournalism from Ateneo de Manila University, and has a Master of Science in Geography from the University of the Philippines. So for the participants of the on-site photo workshop, right, you will leave the Arete and will begin your photo walk around the campus shortly with Mr. Vicencio, with Aaron, Sir Aaron, and you'll be accompanied by Mr. Daniel Radilla, That's Daniel over there from AIF. So again, a warm round of applause for Sir Aaron Vicencio. Thank you also for this Daniel. Will they, Sir Eman, will they go out now or afterwards? After we introduce everyone. And they may leave their things here for later. Okay, you can leave most of your stuff here. Of course, if you have your cameras, to bring them with you. Now, to tell you more about the second session, the outdoor photography, which will be tackled online. So for this 1 hour facilitator is Mr. Olympus Jean Tibupos. Olympus is a software developer by profession. In 2018, he gave up his position from a Fortune 500 multinational company based in Metro Manila and started an independent consultancy business back in his home region in the West Visayas. This career shift allowed him to explore other pursuits as an avid outdoor enthusiast, like photography, mountaineering, and rock climbing. At the height of the COVID pandemic in 2020, he discovered his love for bird watching and bird photography. This hobby quickly became his personal therapy that got him through strict lockdowns and bouts with the virus. Bird photography would eventually take him around the country, from the lowland forests of Luzon to the mudflats of the Visayas and the montane forests of Danao. As a member of the Camera Club of Negros and Wild Bird Club of the Philippines, his photographs have been displayed in several exhibits by these organizations promoting bird watching and conservation and protection of their habitat. His photography work has also aided publications in Philippine bird awareness and the ongoing threats to their survival. So later on, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm round of applause to Olympus. So he's inside in the Zoom room. For those who will be joining, so I'll address the online participants. For those who'd like to join the online photo workshop, please proceed to breakout room 1 later on. We'll make the announcements when you can go to breakout room 1. Our third session is one of 2 literary writing workshops. Both are on-site primarily, but it is also hybrid, as we can accommodate some people in the Zoom rooms from those who are in Zoom. To introduce our first facilitator, she is Miss Maria Margarita Cristina A. Lactao, the beautiful lady at the back. Okay. Let's give her a warm round of applause. You'll find out later on. So we've introduced you to Chris Lactao. So her name is also Chris. I'm also Chris. So to avoid confusion, he's Chris L. All right, and then I'm Chris C. All right. Later there'll be another fun fact with the people around here. Now there are also 2 Emans. But let's go back to Chris. Chris has a deep personal interest in writing and education, especially in the context of journeying with the youth to discover the wonders of literature. Chris finished her AB Humanities degree from the Ateneo de Manila University in 2010 and her Master of Arts in Education, major in Basic Education Teaching in 2022. After finishing college, she pursued teaching as a career, and she has taught English writing and literature in several schools. The K-12 transition provided an opportunity for her to develop a niche interest in her students in writing. These days, Chris reads more than she writes. When she's not struggling to meet her annual 50-book reading goal, 50, okay? She's teaching creative writing and creative nonfiction at the Ateneo Senior High School. So for those who are joining Chris Lactao for her session, of course, those are on site. Later on, we'll ask to move towards this side of the room. And for the online participants, you will be led to breakout room number 2. Again, a warm round of applause for Ms. Chris Lactao. And this second literary writing workshop, right, is also primarily on site but will be available online for those who are there, which is increasing in number, 56 na sila. And our facilitator is Mr. Emmanuel B. Adil. Please, let's give Eman L. So there's Chris L, Chris C, there's Eman L, and Eman D. Okay. So Eman is an environmental scientist, educator, and writer with special interest in urban green spaces and wetland ecology, as well as interdisciplinary approaches to social ecological problems. He finished his Bachelor of Science in Environmental Science, cum laude, from the Ateneo de Manila University, where he was also awarded the Loyola Schools Awards for the Arts, Outstanding Excellence in Creative Writing, Poetry, and the most coveted Mulry Award for Literacy Excellence. After graduation, he went on to teach at the Tarlac State University, handling courses on biodiversity, wildlife conservation, and environmental monitoring, among others, while concurrently serving as its safety officer. Core to Emma's professional work are teaching, research, and writing. As he juggles his teaching load and research work on protected landscapes and inland wetlands, he also works as a freelance science writer. Currently, Emman is taking his Master of Science in Conservation and Restoration Ecology at the University of Philippines, Baguio. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Emma. For those who will be joining Emman L's writing workshop, you'll also stay in this room, but at the back side, from where I am, at least on that back side. And for those who will be joining the online portion, you will be led to breakout room 3. So, okay. So please be back. So in a while, so the people will go with Sir Aaron, others will stay here. Okay. But please be back in this room. There's a campus room, no? By 5:10. So please check your watches. It's now 4:05, internet time at least. So please be back in an hour and 5 minutes here in this room. So we could wrap up and share some other things with you and also have some shared merienda. Okay. So with that, we'll now proceed to. So for the online participants, you will be led. The breakout rooms will now be open. For those who will be joining Sir Aaron and Sir Daniel, you may stand up, leave some of your stuff, but please follow Sir Aaron. So on photography with Sir Aaron, you may again leave some of your stuff, so you don't have to be carrying too many things as you go around the campus.
for the outdoor photography session at the AUNEEC workshop titled Reconciling with Nature Through Artistic Creations, given this 28th day of November 2023 at the Ateneo Parente. Let's give a round of applause to Mr. Vicencio.
Take photographer.
Welcome na.
Thank you. And another certificate of appreciation is given virtually to Mr. Olympus Jean Ibobos. Let's give him a round of applause as well. The name for this time is currently in Bacolod City. Another certificate of appreciation is given to Ms. Priest A. Lakdao for her time today as one of our workshop facilitators. Let's wave to the camera. All right. And another certificate of appreciation is hereby awarded to Mr. Emmanuel B. Lacanin for his time today as one of our workshop facilitators. Let's give him a round of applause, please. Thank you very much. And
Who attended the photo session with Sir Leron? Oh, then maybe someone can take the photo. Yes. What's your name, sir? What's your name? Oh, okay. What? What's your name? Louis. Louis. Thank you, Louis. Right. Oh, okay. Next one. Sabi ko na muna. The thumb. See your thumb? EF1. Your thumb. Oh, there. Hold that in the dress. Oh, wow. Okay.
Ang sports setup din. Naka-portrait setup din.
Okay. Use this first, then we'll go to the. Yeah, after this, do you dock? Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. More. 1, 2. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, so we'd like to share another one last thing with you guys. So we hope our insightful, helpful speakers have the artists in you inspired to create and narrate. Part of our role as scientists is to learn and listen to the stories of the communities around us. It's important to understand how climate change is being experienced everywhere and to tell the stories of how it has touched us and how it has touched all of us. Help us in our endeavor to paint a complete picture of climate change and climate risk from the ground up. So the My Climate Risk at the Manila University or ADMU Hub asks, what is your climate story? In their newest project, Climate Stories, Voices from the Ground, they aim to build a ground-up understanding of how climate change is experienced and how climate risk is perceived based on the stories from different sectors across all ages. These stories can be expressed through different media, essays, poems, visual art, music, and other creative work. We believe that we are all storytellers and scientists. And if you have a story, we are interested in reading it, viewing it, listening to it, watching it, and of course, sharing it. We invite you to submit your piece and be part of our inaugural batch of storytellers. So, The bit.ly, the short link was put on the chat. You can also use this QR code, and maybe Carl, you can send an email naman to all the participants with all the details, but please do consider participating in my climate risk. So for more, for more information and submission guidelines and to access a submission form, please head to the bit.ly link that was sent on the chat for our online participants, or this QR code for our on-site participants. And if you can't do it right now, again, just please stand by for the email that will be sent to you with all the details. And if you have any questions, please do reach out to us at mcr@ateneo.edu. We hope to make climate stories, voices from the ground, one of your creative outlets after the seminar. We really look forward to hearing from you. So thank you very much. And to close our program this afternoon, I'd like to call on our Executive Director of the AUNEC, Dr. Emmanuel G.
Good afternoon, everyone, and I hope you find your workshop enjoyable and insightful. On behalf of the Secretariat of AUNEC, we would like to thank you, everyone, for speaking. May marami pang food, no? To our online participants, I hope you're having a great snack as well, yes, for joining us in this workshop. As the culminating activity of the banner theme of AUNEC this year, which is environmental restoration and reconciliation, we hope we saw the possibility of artistic expressions of our sentiments and aspirations for reconciliation, equality, and climate justice. Discussions on the environment, especially to those from the science background with me, do not always need to be marred with technical jargons and to be locked in big texts and in conferences. We need to tackle this important topic from different fronts using various media. AUNEEC is keen in doing that, building a generation of Southeast Asians with a heart and competence for the environment, and who will localize the advocacy using creative means that communicate effectively to their peers. Again, we thank our facilitators, Mr. Aaron Vicencio, Mr. Eman Lahadi, for spending their time and sharing their expertise with us. Special thanks also to Dr. Michael Adrido for welcoming us to Arete, and as well as to Mr. Skilty Labastilla and Carlo Erfe of Sandbox Residency Program for making this event possible. We also thank our friends from the Office of the VP DITS and CFMO for the technical and logistical support. Everyone was very helpful in accommodating in all the adjustments given the turbulent and uncertain past few weeks that we all faced. We also thank Mr. Chris Castillo for moderating. Mr. Daniel Radilla for assisting us in the walk. I personally would like to thank the AUNEC Secretariat, Mr. Chris Castillo, Ms. Jean Ms. Jean Harris, and Mr. Carl Alonstagay. Thank you for all our participants. I think the session was worthwhile. Hopefully, you find it enjoyable and insightful. If you have time, please visit the Baliktarin Mo exhibit this week at the Doreen Black Box Theater. The exhibit of all Sandbox residents will be available until Friday. If you are also free, please join us for Baliktarin Talk on Thursday at 3 p.m. wherein we will share about the experiences of the Baliktarin Talk. And of course, please stay tuned for the future events of the event. To end, we would like to request our participants to accomplish the evaluation form for this workshop by scanning this QR code or going to the link presented on the Zoom chat. We will issue certificate of participation to those who will accomplish the evaluation form. Thank you, everyone. May pagkain pa and enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Yes, you will take a good photo. Rock star pose.
But if Miss Jean is still online, perhaps could also take screenshots of the online participants who are still there. There's still 45 there. Palakpakan rin natin ang ating online
Yes.
participants.
Yeah, so online participants,
Periodic
I'll stop sharing
glitches. We'll
first.
see how we can send to you a more complete version of the content. But really, thank you for being with us. Thank you. We have most are from the Philippines, but I see that there were some from Southeast Asia. So thank you and welcome to well, virtually at least, welcome to Philippines and Ateneo de Manila. All right.
Yeah, so for those of us who are online, if you are able to turn on your camera so that you can also be part of documentation. Pipicturean nyo rin on site. Yung screen.
Alam ko, nakapuso ba yan? Yung, yeah, that.
Okay, so just waiting for a few more to open their cameras before I take the group photo.
Tapos, gallery view. Picture natin.
Sige. Yeah, so we're also seeing the beautiful faces of those of us who have joined via Zoom. Thank you very much. Okay, taking the photo in 3, 2, 1. And another one. And another one. Moving to the next panel. Okay, hold your smiles. 3, 2, 1. And last. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Is there anyone else good at 8.5?
Magbibigyan po ba ako?
Perfect. Thank you, Jean. Thank you to our online participants. And please do have a second serving of apples.